let's talk about the 2-note ReVolt Bass. The 2-note ReVolt had me really excited when it was announced back in the summer of 2022. I'm not really into the whole tube versus digital versus transistor debate, but I do recognize that there is a lot of mojo in knowing that there is a tube in there, and it even might be doing something. Having 3 different channels in one unit is also kind of neat, and since the first 2 were modeled after some of the gear that I've already liked, I was really looking forward to trying this pedal out. Now, a year later, I finally got the pedal with me. I've been noodling around with it for a while, and I've got some strong opinions about some of the design choices they made. Oh, by the way, this video is sponsored by 2-Notes Audio Engineering. They sent me the ReVolt Bass so I could check it out, but that doesn't really affect my opinions or any tones you'll be hearing. Thank you, 2-Notes. But let's start from the beginning, shall we? First, check that you've subscribed to the channel and maybe even like the video if you're into bass things. Then, here's the clean channel. The 2-note ReVolt Bass has 3 channels covering all the necessary gain levels for electric bass. The first channel takes after the iconic Ampeg SVT, while the second channel has the vibe of a classic Marshall super bass amplifier head. The third channel is a 2-note original circuit that's called the Modern Drive. The pedal is also outfitted with a programmable FX loop, MIDI connectivity, a balanced accelerometer out with an analog cap sim, and also a headphone amp. And all of this is powered by a single ECC83 preamp tube operating at 200 volts. The clean channel works really well and I really like how it responds. At first I thought that there wasn't really anything happening when using the gain control other than an increase in volume, but after a second listen I noticed that it does introduce some mild saturation and compression that I kind of liked. For my uses I found the best tones to be with a low gain and a high volume for anything with a pick, and with a dimed gain control and low volume for anything fingerstyle. This channel works well with the internal capsim both on or off, and the EQ is really well tuned for the tones. I found myself really enjoying this channel for some fingerstyle meditations with a bit of reverb and delay, which I'll be using as an outro for this video. Next up is the Vintage Dirt, which has everything from slight overdrive to a really good bunch of overdrive. This channel has a 3-band EQ that it shares with the Modern Drive channel. Honestly, after listening to the tones available from this channel, makes me wonder why even include a third channel. There's plenty of distortion to go for already. That brings us to the third channel, which is the Modern Drive, and this is where I think that the pedal starts to fall apart a bit. They promise that this channel is supercharged with an abundance of gain for the gained to the max tone. And yeah, there is a lot of gain on tap here, but the tone is really not on par when it comes to modern bass distortions. The analog capsim is actually not too bad, it's just not doing much. Apparently the Ampeg SVT 8x10 that it was inspired by is really just a high frequency roll-off at 2.5 kHz. The ReVolt Bass also suffers from being unnecessarily bright. Not on the clean channel, but definitely on the third channel and also on the second channel as well. To be able to fit this tone into a mix, I had to turn down the treble control a quarter down, and according to the manual that's about 8 dB. I'm not alone with this, because you can see the same EQ move on other influencers' videos as well. I know that I'm perhaps a bit more particular on my drives than other people, but I still feel that the channel design here leaves a lot to be desired. When two channels share the same EQ, it's really important that you design the channels so that they can work with the same EQ settings, and I feel like that's really not being done here. To me, this pedal has two channels that I could really use. I feel like I could take this pedal to a gig with me and trust that it works like I'd expect it to, and it sounds good to the audience as well. I would probably pair this with a few other pedals in front of it to get some extra grit, a compressor and a boost. But the ReVolt Bass already takes up more space in a pedal board than a Darkglass Ultra Series preamp and a regular sized compressor, and still weighs 200 grams more. It's also a bit hard to fit on a pedal board because of the power requirements. 600 milliamps at 12 volts is a lot. If you'd like to have at least two great tube-powered channels, and you can see yourself finding a use for the third channel as well, this is a great choice for that. I'll give this pedal 7 Pajana points, because it has two great channels and a third channel that's not so great. And 2/3 of 10 is about 7. I like the clean channel a lot, and I think that the Vintage Dirt channel could be a great platform for other pedals, but that's a bit too little in this price range for me. The distortion character also felt a bit out of place, considering that this is a tube-driven pedal. Now I know that the tone of a distortion is more about how you filter your tone before getting into the distortion stage, and not necessarily what you're using to distort it with. But knowing a player's expectations going into a pedal based on the marketing materials and how the pedal looks is hugely important part of the process. You're telling me that those big old amp heads sound like this? When you're thinking about tube distortion, I don't think that you're necessarily thinking about the tones that the ReVolt Bass produces. That's all for now. I'll see you next time, and here's the clean tones I promised you.